love that pulsing of the rod. Where was this squid fisherman? That's what we live for. Quick pulsing of the rod. White jig's doing all the damage. Oh, might be another one over here. Yep, double hook up. Oh, sugar. How cool is that? Oh, that's a beast. That is a beast. Oh no, dropped him. But now I'm on this one. Triple hook up. Oh my god, where these rods go? Are you serious? This is pandemonium. Oh, I hope he stays on. Fish. Oh, he's on the other one as well. Oh no, he's come off. Crazy, crazy. Might still be on. Still. He's angry with me. He's angry. Wow. Is the lure doing the damage on that one? Good fish. Okay? Check it out. Look at that thing go. Shit. 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 Wow. 3 rods, 3 hookups. Where the hell are we? Gotta mark that. See what I said before? We'll just drift over, see if we find some new ground. My goodness, these are good fish. Oh, the ink. Good, Joe. Get off the end of the line. Wow. Wow. I don't know if you guys can see this. He is really fat. Probably one of the biggest ones I've caught. Are you serious? Look at this boy. Wow. Look at those colours. What a donkey. Wow. That's a good fish, man. Triple hook up. That's insane. Triple hook up live. Over new ground. Love it. There's that one. There's that one. Okay. Yeah. Another one. Calamari for dinner. Beautiful. That's insane. That was like 3, 4 hookups, dropped, back again, dropped, back again. Donkeys, when they latch on, they latch on. What a session that last drift was. That was like 5 squid, I think, while I was live on Facebook. Caught 5 squid live, had a triple hookup and donkeys. Like, really, really good. Super impressed with that drift. Now I'm going to try and replicate replicate that same drift. We'll see what happens. It's a beautiful day for it. Moving at 1.3 kilometers an hour, so I'm able to get the lures down. That's what's going to be the difference today. Is you know, when the drift isn't too strong, you need to move, but when it's too strong, your lure doesn't spend as much time in the strike zone as what you'd like it to be. Whereas when it's these sort of days, so if you're going to target squid for the first time on your own, or you know, if you haven't caught any before, I would suggest you definitely pick the nicer days. It'll be less frustrating. I'm not saying it's more productive, or it can be more productive, but it's definitely less frustrating because your lures are able to sit in the zone a lot longer. You're able to maintain them where they're supposed to be, which is real close to the weed bed. So therefore, you've got a better chance of finding and catching fish. And always remembering to mark them. That way you can develop your own little cluster. I've got a good little drift going now. I'll be drifting straight through the center of my marks. Drifting at a nice pace. Fishing with 3 rods. Love keeping busy. Don't need to do the fancy samurai style bloody fishing rod maneuvers like you see people do. I just give it a tap tap lift. Find that works for me. Some days, maybe if they're harder, you have to G them up more, so you might have to be a little bit more vigorous on the lure. But at the end of the day, even just the slow rocking of the boat is more than enough, as you probably saw in the last video, to get hookups. So the lure's just got to be slowly wafting. So my opinion is when you work the lure real hard, it looks like a fleeing prawn out of the grass beds, the weed beds. So the squid attack pretty hard. But when the lure is just wafting and you just give it a gentle lift, it looks like a prawn that's not in a hurry. It looks like it's a prawn that's not been spooked. So it looks like a prawn that doesn't know that there's a squid around about to hit on it. So the squid thinks he's clever and makes his way over to the prawn, and the prawn's just wafting along, not being intimidated by it. And the squid turns around and goes, yeah, not intimidated by me? Well, how about I take a chunk of you and whoosh go, and then it's fish on. So although it is nice to do the big lifts, I've got a bit of a theory. You don't have to go so crazy with them. Sometimes it's good because it can fire up a bite, but just a little tap tap lift, tap tap lift is all you need. As like I said, the squid thinks, oh, that prawn doesn't even know I'm here. So I'm just going to merge on over to him and make him breakfast, lunch or dinner. Right. Enough gibbering. Loving these Virtuous reels, super smooth. I mean, they're all smooth when they're bloody new, aren't they? But so smooth. I think it's the line. That Shimano Grapler line, seriously, it's like half of the diameter of the same poundage. So I think when I was looking at it, 20 pound line is normally about 1.7 PE, 1.7 or something. This was 1.0, so it's super thin. Super thin, super strong. So there's no resistance as that lure is going down from the current or the drift on the line. So as you imagine, the line creates a lot of drag. So you're able to get your lure down in the strike zone, and you're not sacrificing light line. You know, I tend to fish in deeper water for my squid, so I need that strength. And as well, I use these rods for snapper as well. I'll probably try and catch a little kingy on them after as well. So 20-pound line for me is what I fish with. Yeah, I've got rods with 15-pound or 10-pound, but all they do is piss me off when I lose fish. So right, get back to fishing. Another fish. Not as big as the other ones. Baby one, good eating, but great bait that size. That was definitely a tap on this one. Gotta love squid fishing, eh? I used to come fishing here. That's bottom. Come on, don't make me lose my lure. Oh no, it feels tight. White one. No. No. That's not very nice. It was full of battle scars. Oh. Squid gods can have it. Let it break. Wow, it broke on. So that rod had a uni to uni knot from the leader to the braid. All the rest I've got whatchamacallit, FG knot. So when I'm out at sea, I can't be bothered tying an FG knot. So last time I just tried a uni to uni knot, and that is the weakest link. I don't care what anyone says. Uni to uni knot's the best knot ever, but it's not the strongest knot or the best knot to tie two braids together. It'll get you by, it'll do 99% of the job, but it is the weakest link. So that is then the weakest link in the whole system. So, oh well, I'm gonna have to tie a new rig on there, and I've just sacrificed my white squid jig. Oh well, at least it's nothing special, it's just the white one, so you can get them anywhere and everywhere. But yeah, oh well, let's go. Serious? Tie a new jig. That was a big hit, man. That was, oh. Smashed again. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow! Wow! Are you serious? Wow! Wow! Oh, that's insane. Yeah, buddy. Oh, he's angry, man. This to me. Don't do this to me. Shit. Well, they call it, that's why I call it Jurassic Park name. Lost that one. Back on. Oh, fuck. Set the hook straight up. That's a good one. I love when they full drag. Yeah, they're big when they stick out of the net like that. Hear that? They sound like a donkey. They sound like a horse. Hook up and I missed them. Oh well. Two. How good are they? Gorgeous fish, huh? Look at that. Sensational. Sensational. You gotta love it. It's the chili burn hat. Bring good luck. Look at that. That's a cracker. But look at the state of my boat. What on earth is that? Pump the hose down. kind of just dropped it. It's come back on. Not as big as some of the other ones I've caught. But squid nonetheless. Nice fish. There you go. Our old chili burn hat is doing the trick. Wow. Double hooker. That one's better. And I think there might have been a tap on the other one as well. Why you got to mark your spots. Tried a new spot now, or a different spot. Haven't fished it for a while, but I've caught squid here before. So I marked it last time, and I've come back, I've dropped, and I've gotten a double. I've got a triple hooker, but I missed that one. It went slack on me. It's a really good fish, I think. Yeah. Fatty. That jig absolutely munched. Munchy. Big candles. Donkey. Fish. See if he's still on there. Do that drift again. When choosing your rods for squidding, I believe there's dedicated squid rods. But I don't know why you have to spend money just because they call it a squid rod. It's a squid rod. 7-foot rod, 1 to 3 kilos is perfect. Nice soft action. But for me, the biggest thing is a very short butt, because you're whipping and double tapping. If you've got a real long butt, it dangles under here and it gets caught up in your jacket, and it's really annoying. I used to use kamuku rods, little short little rods, beautiful rods, but no good for squidding. You want a short butt, so that way you can tap and it doesn't interfere with your sleeve or anything like that. So I've probably got about 12, 13 so far, and it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. I might see if I can get a couple more. I've got a couple more spots that I want to try, and then I might go try for a snapper with a squid or two, donate a squid or two. But yeah, definitely go with a rod with a shorter butt. It just makes working that jig so much easier because it doesn't interfere with your sleeve. And this grappler line, I can't rate it highly enough. It's just super soft, super thin, and it's 20 pounds, so you still got a bit of bite. And you've really got to learn to do your FG knots. Do them properly at home. It's a nuisance doing them on the boat. Do them properly at home. And once you lose a rig out here, I just use a double uni knot, running 20 pound line and 20 pound leader. I am fishing the deeper water, so that's why I normally run those sort of poundages. And I've been getting some absolute donkeys, like, so good time to get out. I fished for a squid about 3 months ago, 3-4 months ago. Just a quick session, only had half a day, like today I suppose. I think I got 9 that day. But today's been pretty hot straight off the bat. It's good to come out on dark as well. If you're confident enough to do that, come out in the night, fish that sun up. Green eye squid have got big eyes. They love hunting at night, so they've got no problem seeing your jig. I have got some Lumo jigs, but I'm waiting for my UV light, my UV torch to come in the mail. So, but all the colours that I'm using today, they're all working. So I can't say one is performing better than the other, really. So when I drop my jigs out, I usually drop one straight down, one out to the side, and one up current. Because my boat's today for some reason wants to sit sideways to the wind. If I was fishing and say the big boat, stabby, that's like a sail, that usually faces the rear, like fish towards the rear, well then I cast forward of the boat. But today, Mr. Polly is wants to settle sideways, so there's no problem. So I'm just dropping one straight down, one out the back, and one up current. So by the time we drift over that jig, it'll be in the weed beds. You've got to get in the weed beds. Unfortunately, potentially you might have to sacrifice a jig or two. Some days you don't sacrifice any. I've lost one so far today, and again it's because it was a uni to uni knot, not because that's where the line failed. Tap tap, that's all I do. And let some more line out, get it up 2 meters, 3 meters off the seabed. When the line goes slack, let it back down again. Tap tap. You can do all the fancy if you want. Proof is in the pudding, I don't have to. Oh, could have been a fish. Just let out a bit of line. So to the squid now, he thinks that prawn is trying to go back into the cover of the weed. He'll come back for it. Maybe switch over to this one. You've got to always pay attention to your rods. Sometimes it's just that little bit of weight on it because they grab it and they're holding onto it. That's why you see some of my lures all got chew marks in the cloth. So that's weed. Don't be shy once it hits weed. Just leave it there for a little bit, because they will hit even with a bit of weed on there. Ideally you don't have weed on there, but they will hit if there's a little bit of weed on there, because it's a prawn fleeing out of the weed bed. That's what they think is happening, so they'll attack it. And then just you get used to how heavy your lure is on your line and the action of your rod. So when you can feel there's some weed on there, bring it up and clear it. So I can feel that now. It's a bit heavier than normal, so that'll have some weed on there. Let's bring it up and check it. It's good to fish multiple rods, or if there's more than one on board. There's that little bit of weed. If you're fishing on your own, it's good to fish multiple rods, because there's usually a follower, or they're in schools, or they're in couples. So you'll be surprised what when they come up, you might have a follower, or one rod goes off another one, as you've seen earlier on in the video. Double and triple hookups. So let that one straight down. We've moved off my marks, so just drift for another 20 meters, 30 meters. Another tip, I like to have my rods, that's probably about the steepest angle I like them at. I prefer to have them flat, to be quite honest. That's way too steep of an angle, but it is what it is. You make do with the rod holders, because I like the rod being flat, so the action of the flexing of the rod adds to the action of the lure, and as the boat rocks with the water, it you know, translates that action of the rod onto the lure. So the boat works a little better for you. That's just way too steep on that one there. That's achieving nothing. It's just holding the rod and the rod holder. It works, but it's not ideal. It's nice when the rod tip is that angle or flatter. As you can see, that's those bends and bends, whereas that stays stiff. Even though it's a light rod, that lure remains stiff, whereas that whips the lure naturally by the motion of the ocean. And that is snag. Wow. Missed the double. Big fish, man. Nice calamari, eh? Look at these boys. Look at that. How gorgeous are they? You don't seem to think so, eh? Don't spit, it's rude. Naughty. Oh well. Only got so many hands. Oh no! Come back, hopefully. No! No! Come on, come back. Constantly let that line. Is that rod, you know, as it's drifting, the line's creeping up. Only want it to get 2 meters off the seabed and straight back down again. No, I saw the take. Would have been good to land that one. This one and the one on the right, my right. Snagged. Oh, I missed that take. Oh well. That one there might be going. Something playing silly buggers down there. Shotgun. I feel like John Wayne. Go ahead, make my day. Come on. Oh, such beautiful fish today. Good looking fish. Big squids. Might even show you how I clean them afterwards. Normally I put them in the freezer with the slime on them. I reckon they keep probably a little bit better. But I'm going to clean these ones today. I've got my keeper bag that I clean them in. That was a fish bite before. As you saw, we get rock cod, really good eating, but I'm not in the mood for cleaning one of those today. But beautiful fillets. Let's bring it up. Where are we? Yeah, we're potentially still in our marks. We're just off the edge of our marks. Like I did earlier on this morning, I'll drift a bit past my mark. You never know, we might find new ground. If that's the case, we'll find new squid. Let's just bring them up, check for weed. So that one there I drop straight down. This one here I'm going to drop up current. And that one there is on a fish. So again, mark straight away. Crucial to mark. So now I've just extended my cluster a little bit wider. So my cluster's getting a little bit wider, so I'm finding more ground, which is exactly what you want to be doing. He's a cheeky fucker. Oh, he's only just hooked. Come on, mate. That's the way. I'll explain a bit about my net in a minute. Wow. That's so friggin' good. Good fish. Nice one, huh? Not too big. Gonna have to count these soon. So I reckon I'm probably up to about 15. Oh, joking. Come back. Don't forget to turn the bowl arm over. So we're coming off the eastern edge of this reef, and even this morning, this is where they seem to have been held up. This is where they hold up a little bit, so I don't know why. Straight down for that one. Look at old mate. Yeah. He's copped a flogging, this boy. He's torn up and everything. Might as well drop him all the way down as well, straight down. He's on a different sink rate than the other one. So that one there, this one here is heavier. So he'll float a little bit more at the back. This one here is heavier, so he'll go straight down. He's already bottomed out. That one's still slowly peeling the line off. Arm over, both on the bottom. Love squid fishing. Takes a while to get your mojo, but once you get a feel with where your lure is in the water column, how to work that lure, how your lure's working with the current, yeah, you get the knack of it, and it becomes very addictive. You know, I used to come squid fishing as a kid when I was 8, 9 years old. My uncle used to take me fishing. And the only reason why he used to take me fishing was because he couldn't speak English, so he needed someone English speaking that could help him in case we got pulled over by the cops or licensing or whatever. And I was only 8, 9 years old, 10 absolute tops. So we used to come in here, and back then it was all hand line, and it was all these like what the commercial guys use. It's like a barrel style Lumo, and with the prongs on there, and heavy hand line, heavy mono. You know, the old wogs there, and they used to fish with like 40 pound, 50 pound hand line, right? And we used to throw it out, and you're constantly whipping, let out, whipping, like it was pretty awesome. And I took me ages to get one, and I used to say to my uncle when we were in the backyard, what's it feel like? What's it feel like when you catch a squid? And he's going, all right. So I'd throw the lure at him, and he'd hold it with his hand, and he goes, all right, tug it. So I'd tug, and he'd let the line go through his hand, and then he'd hang on to the lure, and as I tugged, it was like, he goes, that's it, see, can you feel it? And then he'd sit there with his motions of his hand, and he'd sit there and he'd do that pulsing sort of feeling, and yeah, that's like as a kid, I thought, oh, I've got to catch one of these things. Like we used to go fishing with like buckets, garbage bins. We used to come back, you know, but never outside. It was always inside. We never used to come out and fish in this deep water. Only used to fish in like 8 meters, 7 meters, 5 meters, 4 meters. That's about as deep as we went. Never used to come out here. So it was pretty awesome, you know, once I found that we could catch squid out here. But so he used to sit there and tug on the line, and I thought, wow, is this what it really feels like? And he goes, yeah. He goes, can you see how, you know, they pulse backwards? Like he was doing the whole motions with his hands. And I said, I've got to get one of these things. So when I caught one, I was stoked. Look at that, that's just chomped. The material. So yeah, the addiction started back then. So back then, there was nobody fishing for these squid. Like we had the whole place to ourselves. Like who used to fish for squid? All these, you know, Aussies or whatever you want to call them. Mate, that's bait. Like why would you catch that and eat that? Like that's, well, look at the old salt and pepper squid, how far that's come in life, eh? Everybody wants squid now. You go to restaurants, everything's squid, entree squid, everybody's squid. It's probably the most prolific thing in the ocean. Like this waterway where I'm fishing now gets fished every day, and I know people that catch squid here every day, all the time. Like there's heaps of boats that catch squid, so they must be here in numbers. I'm up to 15, 16, and I haven't fished in ages here, but I know people have been fishing here pretty hard in ages. Fair enough, it's a weekday today, I've got the whole place to myself pretty much, but yeah, they are prolific. They're very fast growing creatures, and they taste delicious. And back then everyone used to make fun of us for fishing for squid, you know, and wog and whatever, and you know, all that racial stuff. But it is what it is, you know. That's how we grew up, that's what made us tough. That's what ground us. Not like these things of today, you know, these people of today, they get offended over the smallest little things. It is what it is, you know. That's how the world was back then, and you just accepted it. So, but yeah, I don't know how I got onto that friggin' topic, talking about squid and how I got started into squid. But yeah, so I've been doing it for a long time, and I just love it. Probably one of my favourite forms of fishing, to be quite honest. It's active, I like it because it keeps me busy. I'm in the restaurant game. I go 100 mile an hour all night, and everything's got to happen within the space of minutes. So I'm used to pace. So that's what I like about fishing. You're constantly working your lures, constantly getting them in the strike zone, and you're constantly, you know, challenging yourself, finding new ground and bigger squid. Right, let's move and do another drift, and we'll see if we can catch another one or two. A little bit of info about my net. That's what I use, that's my squidding net. You can see the mesh is real close together. It's not exactly shade cloth, so the barbs don't get stuck in it like the shade cloth ones do. I don't know where I got it from, but the beauty of that is because it's so fine, when the squid spray their ink, they don't, it doesn't penetrate fully through, or it slows the trajectory down of the ink, therefore not making a total mess. I do grab them by hand, but when you're on your own, sometimes it's just easier, especially days like today where I'm getting doubles and triple hookups. It's just easier to do with a net, that way I can do it really quick. That's a good session. By 10:30 this morning I had 18 squid. So I've just run through the keeper bag. to try and get as much of the slime off. That's an esky full of fish, full of squid. Not a bad session for a solo. That's 18 good squid, some big hoods in there. Big hoods, 40 centimetre hoods easy.